Hello and welcome back everyone, Firestarter here once again with a replay submitted by Saint 18. I hope I'm pronouncing that right, sorry if I butchered your name, but today we have a 3v3 on Jungle Lot against, I think, yeah, this is basically, it's random and Saint with a random on their side, so kinda funny little thing going on there, against, I believe it's still Balalaika. We have Reflex. I guess that's Itami or whatever you want to call it, and Oceans. So I just speed it up for now and see what decks we have and see what happens. Should be an interesting game. So it looks like we do have one Soviet deck, one Eastern Bloc, I would assume by that CV, and definitely a Chinese or Red Dragon deck here. So that's for red 4. Meanwhile, here we have random playing blue dragons, which is pretty cool. And we have some... what is this? I guess Saint is playing some version of an American deck, so it's either US or NORAD. Or I don't know what else it could be. And we have Killuminati playing... I think there's a pure German deck. Wait, what's the... okay, I have no idea. I guess we'll find out later. But yeah, ping's going down and everything, so we can see some coordination coming out from Blue 4. I'm assuming they're just typing out because they're not very coordinated. As I said, like, Saint told me in the email that random just jumped in and the last guy on their team is a random. So as opposed to Red 4 probably all being on comms together. So let's just speed up and see what happens. Wait, what happened to my... what the fuck? Okay, that was weird. My cursor disappeared. But yeah, I forgot what I was gonna say. I guess it doesn't matter now. We do have an ASF rallied out by Red 4, trying to deny any napalm starts or something, because they're very popular in this map, usually blocking off this bit or maybe this bit, you know. Not useful in Mike, but it's a thing people do, so you gotta anticipate it. And yeah, so we do have Reflex, no, not Reflex, sorry, Itami microing his TY90s away because he did spot that there's no helos going out anywhere. We do have an ASF being rallied out by Blue 4 as well, and we do have First Blood being scored by random, killing that little... I'm assuming that was Liren that was trying to sneak past, so that close arrow did intercept that. We do have an MI8 also intercepting random's initial deployment, sorry, into Echo. So the first battle is happening here. Meanwhile, there's some skirmishing going on here. We'll take a look at that in a bit. But I just want to see what happens here, because this Echo Zone is kind of biased for Red 4, because you can get in this town before Blue 4 can take their part of it. So we'll have to wait and see how random deals with it. But let's just take a quick look at the side. Meanwhile, just have this in perspective so we know what's going on. Looks like Red 4 has managed to put down a lot of infantry here. I mean, 2 LSTRs and Spetsnaz are quite a potent force, so Blue 4 is going to have to invest a lot to deal with this, and losing this little hillside here can be very, very detrimental. Let's check back in Echo. F1's being rallied up by random, trying to scope out that infantry. Looks like he has lost this initial engagement, but those HQ7s actually managing to score a kill there, so that bombing run not very cost effective. However, random does have a lot of infantry, and with the fire support from these KAFVs, I mean, he should be good, because there's mainly just legions here. Actually, it's only legions here, so wow, that's a big mistake by Red 4. You don't want to have only anti-inf. You need that combination to be able to deal with, you know, fire support. So it looks like random will take back the zone, but meanwhile, let's see what's happening here. I mean, it's kind of difficult to keep up with everything in team games, which is why I prefer casting 1v1s, but I'm gonna try and do my best. So we do have some skirmishing going on here, but it's not too important. Let's see what's happening in golf. I'm just gonna zoom in a bit And yeah, looks like Red 4 in very solid control here. Saint trying to defend this as best he can. Wait, that's Canadian number. Okay, so he is playing some sort of, yeah, that's definitely a NORAD deck. So yeah, it's him being in the middle. We'll see what he manages to do there. Meanwhile, not looking good for Itami here. He overextended and did not have the right composition of force here. So as you can see, Random is just gunning straight through, and he's pretty much unopposed at this point, because Legions cannot deal with these grenade launcher APCs. So we can leave that for now and just try and focus. Here, not much happening in Echo. It looks like there's a push by Oceans here, trying to clear out this forest, which is very important if you want to take Mike. And yeah, it helps a lot with flanking and just pushing into this, because otherwise you have to go through an open field, and it's just not a good idea. Meanwhile, Saint is doing everything he can to fend off these pushes here. Looks like those LSTRs were killed off, only one man remaining there. And so far he's looking good. He's defending these infantry pushes. And we might even see a counterattack. I don't know what's going to happen. I haven't actually taken a look at this game prior to casting, but just from the lineup of players, I thought it'd be interesting regardless. So if it ends up being shit, I'm sorry guys, but no, I'm just kidding. It's probably gonna be a fun one. But no team capping the 1-point middle zone so far, so it's kind of cool. Oh, I totally missed this. This is a very nice little infiltration here by Saint and Random. It does give them some vision. We can see how much they can actually see. It's nothing because, yeah. And yeah, but still having this little area here can definitely be useful if you set up ambushes, or just, I don't know, maybe flank to Charlie, or trying to cut off reinforcements to Golf, which is actually a much better idea, come to think of it. But let's see how Itami is holding on here. It looks like he has rallied up some Janduis, which are pretty awesome. I love these things. They do have that sexy 20 rate of fire launcher, which is very similar to the Law 80. It only lacks one less AP, but that's alright. So yeah, Patriot scoring a kill on the MiG there. But Red 4 now controlling Golf. They do have a CV in here, but it doesn't really matter since they do not have Echo under control. As you can see, Random managed to completely overwhelm those defenses there. So yeah, the infantry in the bottom half here died for both teams. The only thing that remains is just BTRs and Spetsnaz here for Oceans. But he definitely needs to reinforce that. These T-190s are still alive, but they're not really doing much. I'd like to see one on each flank, just trying to prevent some sneaky helos from going past. As you can see, Random has actually rallied out 2 Cobras, so we'll see what happens. And here we go. I can't pronounce that, come on. Yeah, managed to score a Merida kill, so nice little ambush position there. It will be microed away from that ZTQ, which is the smart thing to do in this case. But Red 4 looking shaky now. Charlie is in big danger. As you can see, Random is not stopping. He's moving with all of his infantry. Has quite a lot of tanks actually. AA as well. Just a very nice little composition of units, and he could definitely take Charlie if he wanted to, especially with the lack of reinforcements coming out by Red 4. It looks like their main focus is in Golf, but I'm just not seeing them being too aggressive. And yeah, we could speed up a bit considering it has slowed down. So you can see Blue 4 consolidating forces in Mike, probably for a push. And so far we could just focus on Random's perspective. Let's just slow it down actually. Now we do have Helos providing some nice fire support. Q5 being called out defensively to that infantry, but just sniping off one squad is just not worth it. And Charlie might actually go down by the looks of things, which doesn't really happen that frequently on this map, considering this is a very bad choke point. But Random might actually be able to pull this off. You can see all that fire support dying, and yeah, let's just see what's happening here for now. But yeah, it looks like the main focus, or at least a point of interest, is this. Yeah, so just not much happening here. Quite a passive little skirmish going on. So we can just focus on this, but we still want to keep that in mind because it does make a difference. This MI-25 actually getting off a lot of stuns, and this J7 might actually turn the tide now if he scores all that infantry kills. Will he get them? No, he does not. He misses. It looks like he went for the APCs instead of the infantry, but yeah, could have been a better bombing run. The ZTQ is panicked, so its rate of fire will be drastically lowered, and also its accuracy, 23%, is just, oh, when it does go down, quite unfortunate. Now there's nothing to defend the CV in Charlie other than J7s, but Random is spreading out his infantry, so they will be not as susceptible to bombing runs. And it looks like we do have a push by Red 4 now in Mike, but he seems to be a bit reluctant, pulling back his recon, only having one tank, which is not really enough to fully secure Mike. This is very much a tank zone as opposed to Golf and Echo, so does kill that C2 on the high ground there. I actually like the T-80A. I think it's a very underrated tank. People don't really take it because there's a lot better options, but for 110 points, I think this is like one of the more cost-effective tanks in the Soviet deck. I don't know. At least I use it extensively in my Soviet armored, but I guess it just comes down to preferences. And Charlie has been somewhat neutralized, it looks like, but we do have this Merida providing some fire support here. And this K1 should be microed away. It only has 1 HP. It could even go down to the faggots. Oh wow, I've never seen those things actually score a kill before. That is crazy. Quite a big loss there for Random, considering he doesn't have, well, he does have a Kumarashiki, but he definitely doesn't want to be very aggressive with that, otherwise it can get mix sniped and that will be bad. So yeah, let's see. Oh, I forgot to take a look at Golf, but it looks like Reflex actually made headway here, clearing out the town. Now he has Motoshitsens and special ones here, which will be very hard to dislodge, especially with a flamethrower here on the side, and the Spetsnaz support by Oceans, but not effectively microed, and will go down to the Navy SEALs. You always want to attack move when in forest, otherwise that happens. And yeah, looks like Random has been thwarted in Charlie, so I think I spoke too soon. And the CV lives as well, which is kind of interesting. The Merida not going down to a single F1 strike, which is kind of silly, but that's Eugene for you. And yeah, still not much happening in Mike. I mean, we do have Blue 4 at +1 now, mostly because Attackcom has been placed in Golf, but that will be short-lived because there's a BTR 70 going towards Mike. But Random's not giving up in Charlie, so he might actually make or break this game, because Golf is pretty much under the control of Red 4. All they have to do is clear this forest and maintain control of the town, and it's their zone. But this is very, very shaky for Red 4 here. Although they are rallying out a lot of infantry now, so it might actually be quite difficult for Random to... Did they just bomb their own CV? Okay, that was... Oh, wow. But yeah, that Kumarashiki very low on health. As I said, you don't want to be overly aggressive with a 170 point tank. So he will pull that one back. And we can now see what's happening here. It looks like Oceans once again trying to attack here, but yeah, just not the right unit combo. And these Spetsnaz cannot deal with the Martyrs. Well, there is a BTR 90, but if he goes too far ahead, it will get caught off by Panzergrens and Jaegers. He definitely wants to keep it behind his Spetsnaz as a supporting unit, not an offensive unit. So I don't think this will end well for Oceans. So Killuminati actually holding on to Mike pretty well. Although if he wanted to, he could totally push this zone out. There's a BU on the field now, But if he goes for the forest instead of the open field, he could definitely circumvent that. And what is happening here? There's just so many closed arrows. Well, or all sorts of arrows. There's 4 of them on the field, actually sniping down a lot of jets. Both of those go down, so yeah. Very nicely done by Random. The A is on point, but he is lacking the infantry and tank support now, which he had previously, but he's keeping them very busy in Charlie, which is allowing his teammates to do some work here in Golf and Mike. As you can see, Saint has managed to take back control of these little forest lines here. I would like to see the Canadian Airborne and the Navy SEALs split, and then one of them going here, you know, just to support. But I guess they already played this game, so that was kind of a pointless calling. Okay, so Random calling out a plea for help because he's low on money. Looks like he wants to be very aggressive, trying to take Charlie with everything he has, which is the right call considering now that all 3 Red 4 players are working together in taking Charlie back, and he's pretty much all alone here. Some little stragglers here being caught out by Random's infantry, but I don't think they'll actually live that long. And Saint managed to take back control of the Gulf town, so Red Force making this game slip. I mean, it's not like they had it from the start, but we'll see what they manage to do to take this one back. They really want to take back Charlie, but losing Mike and Golf, or at least just having them contested, is going to be bad for them. And oh, that ADA goes down. But yeah, it's going to be bad for them because they do not have control of Echo, so they do need at least one zone to prevent the bleed from happening. As you can see, Blue 4 has managed to catch back up points-wise, and it's even on the +2 lead, but that has been stopped because Red 4 now has a CV in Charlie once again. So it's kind of difficult to focus on everything. This infantry battle is still going strong. Now these Morskayas are just not going to stand a chance against the MG3 Master Race here. And there's just not sufficient infantry support to support this BU here. So most likely he will have to pull it back, but he's in a very, very awkward spot because he has to pull back like this and then go behind the bridge, or at least position himself here. But there's leopards here and BGS scouting everything, so it's very difficult in Mike 4 Red 4. But in Golf we do have quite a back and forth between Oceans and Saint, but you do have to keep in mind that there's 2 players in Golf and only 1 player for Blue 4 in Golf. But did the CV get sniped again? It looks like it. Yeah, it did get F1'd, which is very significant. But now there's a counter attack by Red 4, it looks like. We do have some Lujanduis managed to, I think they were originally stationed here, so they flanked around the side, but the 1J actually catching them in the open, so that will be quite bad. This HQ7 needs to move, and it needs to move now. We have some ZTQs moving up as well, but it looks like they might take control of Echo back, so this game is very much far from over. Let's see what happens here. Oh, this bombing run can be very, very fatal. Gets all of those supply trucks, so that was nice. But let's see what's happening here. It looks like Random will now set up a defensive position with all that infantry so we can focus on the battle here. I do not know what happened to the BU, guys. I'm really sorry. Let me just pause and see. Is that it? No. Yeah, I missed it. I don't know. Yeah, this is why I don't cast team games, but it's okay. So we do have more BTR-90s carrying, I don't know, because people like to put all sorts of shit in BTR-90s nowadays, so we'll just have to wait and see. But yeah, Golf kind of, wow, these Spetsnaz could actually deny the cap here if they just moved up a bit. Still an infantry fight going on here, so let's just see what this J7 does. Not really any AA in Echo anymore for Random. I guess he lost all of it, which is quite unfortunate because those J7s have just been bombing him to oblivion now. And this little thing here is still going strong, man. They could totally use it if, I don't know, they could have used it before when Random was pretty much attacking Charlie very effectively. You know, a flanking force coming in like this would have been very, very brutal, especially cutting off the secondary bridge. And if they maintained, you know, infantry presence in these buildings, then this bridge would have been cut off, and Charlie's pretty much a gone zone. So yeah, it's hard to take Charlie, but considering that it's also very hard to reinforce it once you lose it, I think it's a very good idea to go for it, but it might be too late at this point, unfortunately. Gulf Town once again secured by Reflex, so this back and forth is still going strong here. Quite a brutal battle for both teams, but Blue 4 at a +2, so it's definitely up to Red 4 to secure this back. Spetsnaz might go down here to the Grizzly, because they don't. Oh wow, they actually kill it. Oh well. But yeah, Golf is very much looking shaky, and I also forgot to mention that the CV and Mike did go down. So yeah, Red 4 definitely needs to CV up and deny these caps, and if they can just hold this town and take this forest, and they should be good. At least, you know, neutral wise, but after that they'll need to come up with something. I guess we could speed up a bit now because it's kind of static. Let's just see what's happening on random side. More bombing runs, trying to score some CV kills, but not very effective. And there's just AA and Neko now, and only one squad of Lujanduis. And these faggots actually managed to find a gap in, what is it, hotel, but they can't kill the CV, unfortunately. Actually, let's slow this down. It's hard to find a good angle that works for golf and everything else, so yeah. Some light riflemen managed to sneak back into this town, and these faggots are just trying to find the CV, which I think revealed itself because its guns were on and it shot at the faggots as they drove by. And yeah, now Red 4 actually calling out a CV for Echo as well. Not unloading these, you know, reservists, but they're not really going to be effective against the infantry here. Maybe with the support of this they will, but I don't know. Oh, the HQ7s out in the... Oh, they're not in the open, but they are in vision of that APC, so they will go down. And they're not being... Okay, they are being microed away now, but they are both worried, so their chances of hitting something down are much, much lower. What killed the thing? What? I don't understand. Okay, well, hope you guys caught that out. I wasn't really paying attention to that, but yeah, the CV hotel does go down, so that's kind of a big loss there. Well, it's not really, because it's still neutral, but you don't want to be losing your back caps. This battle here is still going strong, but this time around there's absolutely no tank support for Red 4 other than this BM, which is just not going to be able to deal with a 2A4 and a 2A5. So it will be very bad, and I think this is actually a land use deck, so yeah. Both of the AA pieces turned off, and in the back I would like to see them maybe a bit more forward, but it's okay really. And I don't know what's going on in golf. It looks like they're focusing for this town here, but there's an MBT-70 managed to look at the gaps in this game. They're just insane. There's units everywhere, just in small pockets. It's crazy. But yeah, so Echo is kind of under, you know, at least this bottom half is under Red 4's control again. And I don't know why he's using BMP-1s to transport his Lujanduis. I think the autocannon APC is a much better choice, because this thing is borderline useless. Like, what's it gonna kill? I don't get it. I mean, it does have an autoloader, but I'm not a fan. And the MBT-70 goes down to the LSTRs, so there is some defense here now for Red 4, trying to prevent the gap from being exploited there. And all the infantry for Blue 4 here died, so this GRU might actually have a field day with the Leopards, especially if he can get a side shot. So let's just see if he's lucky. Standing into fire, not a good idea, but now a longbow being called out, and the lack of AA here is kind of detrimental. He could use these TY90s here, but I think he's focused in Echo for the time being, plus the longbow is being microed away and did the thing. What? Where did it die? Was it here? Yeah, Kumarashiki did go down to the so that will leave Red 4 with a small window of opportunity to wipe out all this infantry and get into town without any fire support retaliating, which is very important when attacking. You don't want to be shot. And can this faggot take out the lab? Yes, it can. Oh my god, this faggot is a boss. It killed a K1. Well, I'm not sure if it's the same one, but still, that's pretty hilarious. You gotta admit, I've never seen these things actually do anything substantial. But they finally go down to the bomber. They could have even killed this CV had the bomber not ruined the fun. Oh wow, that's hilarious. So Red 4 at a +1 now. Once again, lost control of this town, and the Leopards have been pulled back. So Mike's still neutral, even though Blue forces are totally superior here. But let's just focus on Echo. It seems like the most fun is happening here. It's just been a very brutal back and forth. J7 bombing the TACOM, it looks like. No, it was bombing the entrenched infantry. Probably a smart call, because the legions can actually take out the TACOM as soon as they get rid of this transport here. But I think I may have spoken too soon, because it looks like they will go down to the transports. And one squad does go down. Looks like the other one will as well, but another J7 run. Just a lot of effective runs from Itami coming out here. HQ7's managing to take out that. I think it was a Phantom, yeah. CV does go down in Echo, but it doesn't really matter at this point. They need to push out the zone to be able to make a difference, and we have a big mobilization here by Killuminati. I really like your name, by the way. This IL-102 is as good as dead, but it did drop its payload. I will be very surprised. How does he survive? What? How does he live? I don't get that. Okay, well, the automatic was sniped by an SU-24, so kind of dwindling down Blue Force AA here, but there's just a lot of infantry just pouring in time and time again. And I think this might be the decisive one, considering there's just nothing out of the ordinary for Red 4 here that will secure this wood once and for all. But Golf has been cleared, at least from the CV, but we'll see how long that lasts. And now Random is back on the offensive, it looks like. Why is he using the ace? I don't get it. I mean, it does have 10 rate of fire, that's kind of neat, but I don't know. I'd rather pay, what is it, 25 more points and just get a G. Just so much better. But we do have that 2A catching that tank out. It looks like it might go down. CV being forced to move, but oh, that J7 going down to the closed arrows. And now we do have kind of an even show of force in Echo, but nobody really paying attention to this half here, so if anyone finds out, they could totally exploit this and sneak some stuff around. But yeah, these gaps are just very brutal. As you can see, both teams are neglecting massive parts of their front lines. As you can see, this Mi-24 actually managed to sneak around. I don't think he'll live long, considering there's like 3 blocks out on the field, but if he's lucky, he could get the kill. But nah, with a close arrow, yeah, he does go down. And yeah, another J7 going down there for our Red Dragon player. Now these recon infantry are still chilling here from the start of the game, but yeah, as I said, now it's very hard for Red 4 to come back in Mike, because yeah, there's just 2 A5s here and a lot of infantry, and it's just very difficult once you lose this forest line. You have to come up from the high ground, which can also be tricky if your opponent has infantry in this little mountain area, or rather hill. It's not really a mountain, is it? I don't know, I'm not into geography that much. More bombing runs actually clearing out the town, so Random looking very shaky. He might actually end up losing Echo, I don't know. I think this is a pure Chinese deck, but I'm surprised I haven't seen any tankeshashus, because tankeshashus in Echo are the most amazing thing ever, because it's very close range and you can usually snipe out tanks and infantry alike. So kind of a big loss for him, but he does have some nice flanks here with the ZTZ. And we'll see what he manages to do with that. Another, no, this is a different one. Does kill a K1. Pretty nice pickup there for him. And recon infantry being marked by a health marker, because they ended up losing so much stuff there. Just let me pause and just see how much shit died here. Look at that. We have a tank here, another tank here, a transport and a tank. That's just pretty big. It's a really nice ambush spot here, and they just haven't cleaned it up for the entirety of the game. But yeah, 10 minutes to go. It's kind of even so far. I mean, Blue 4 is in the lead, but Red 4 can do some things to make this work. I mean, I don't know. They lost the CV and Mike again, which is pretty bad for them because they really need the points now. But the CV in Echo has been spotted. It looks like it was bombed but not killed, so quite unfortunate for them. And this 85-2 now is in a very rough spot now. I don't think the laws are actually going to do much to it, but still, it's in vision and it might get AT-gemmed or something, or maybe even side shot if he's not careful. But we do have another J7 bombing that C2, and it does go down. Quite a big loss now for Random here. He really needs the money. Well, it wasn't his CV to begin with, but still. Yeah. Mike in total control of Blue 4 at this point. Oceans has been completely pushed back by the efforts of Saint and Killuminati. They have also once again lost this Golf Town, and now they're very much looking shaky in Golf as well, but they are taking Echo slowly but surely. So yeah, quite a fun battle, gotta admit. And will another murder? Oh my god, what a bunch of bosses. They are elite, but I just want to know how many kills they've gotten, because that is crazy. Oh my god, I can't believe it. And another JH7 trying to find that K1, but it did go into cover, so better luck next time. PD rallied out, but it's flying right over enemy lines. That might be detrimental, and a Patriot missing as well as that Roland. This thing is just not dying. Should definitely be evac, but too little, too late. Does go down to the Patriot, which has been sitting there for pretty much the whole game. Quite a nice spot because it can cover Mike and Golf. And another J7 bombing out all this infantry. That was a nice strike, stunning everything here in the zone. But he needs to push up with this infantry, because if he gets overwhelmed, this might be it for his assault. And it could end up being horrible for them. I think I saw an IL-102 go down. It looks like it bombed stuff as well, but didn't really get many kills, so not that good. And yeah, I don't know what Red 4 can do at this point. I mean, besides holding Echo and just trying to squeeze in a CV and Mike and making sure they don't lose their advantage in Golf, they could actually pull it off, but I don't know. They need 100 points in 7 minutes. It's quite actually a difficult task. SU-27K going for that block, but he will evac. He does go down. Oh wow, that was not a good idea. Tunguska actually opening fire on the Panzergrenz. I love just seeing this thing use its guns. It's awesome. And yeah. And just look at this situation. We have recon infantry for Red 4 here on the 2-point zone, and recon infantry for Blue 4 here on the 2-point zone, because neither of them really care much about securing their gaps. But that's what makes it fun. Look at this as well. I mean, I'm surprised that neither side is actually exploiting this. Probably because they don't know about this, but it just, yeah, it's pretty funny. And no CV for either side in Golf. Just kind of surprising. I think this is a new BU, sorry, because I'm really not sure what happened to the previous one, but Yeah, as I said, attacking through this bridge is a suicidal mission, so they definitely need to go like this, secure this little patch here, definitely secure this hillside, and then they can just pour into this little hedge line here. Just enough to put a CV down and maybe get a draw. Because as you can see, Itami actually managed to pin Random down in Echo. So even though Random was very successful in the beginning, he's just very much struggling now against all of this infantry just flooding in. But Itami definitely not mixing up his infantry effectively. Previously he only had legions attacking this, and now he only has Lucian Louise attacking this, but it's okay because the Type 81 is actually really bitching, so he might kill off all of these M60 men here because they're not very effective. I mean, they're only regular, right? Yeah, and these are shocks, so yeah, that should be in his favor considering, well, does he have them? No, not really. He is outnumbered, so it might actually end up bad for him. But oh my god, that was so close. That BU could have gotten rear shotted by that infantry there. So yeah, not much happening in Mike, and Red 4 kind of slipping in golf. So the only focal point now is Echo, but it's not enough to win them the game. Definitely not enough. And we do have some skirmishing going on here, but I'm just gonna focus in Echo for the rest of this because it seems like most of the action is happening here from now. As you can see, I mean, there's just a few units belonging to Red 4 here and just a majority of blue shit, so the most even battle is here by the looks of things. But yeah, I just don't think it's enough at this point. I think losing Charlie CVs twice was what really put the nail in the coffin for them. At least in terms of points, because, you know, so far it's even. I mean, there hasn't been a +1 for either side for a while now. And yeah, they could have at least gotten a draw had they not lost that second CV there to F1 run, I think. Also, you know, keeping Mike would have helped, but maybe that's just wishful thinking. We do have a CV by both teams in golf now. But yeah, as I said, it just doesn't matter. We do have a BU here. Will it go down to the C2s? That would be something. It is blocked off by the napalm, but considering it is a pretty heavy tank, he could just reverse that through the fire, no problem. But he definitely doesn't want these C2s to get into close range. This one should definitely move out of the forest. He could kill this. Well, yes, he does. Wow, that was a nice little kill there by Saint, killing that BU. But yeah, I think this is pretty much over. More J7 runs. That is just crazy. He's been bombing Echo for the whole game. I'm surprised some forumers actually think that J7s are useless. I mean, come on. Those planes are beast. And they reload like crazy fast. We do have some flamer infantry as well, which is kind of interesting. Yet another J7. Will he kill the Haebyung? Not really, but he does bring them down to one man. That is one lucky survivor. We have BMPTs killing off the C2s there. And just a last ditch effort by Red 4 to maintain this position, but I don't think they'll be able to actually do anything. We actually could just speed it up to ×2, because most of these attacks now are just desperation attacks. It's not like they'll turn the tide at this point. I mean, now with 1 minute 45 seconds to go. And we finally have Tankishashus called out by Itami here. They could have been useful a lot sooner here, I admit. And we also have some Hooterens by random, but they're not very useful in a CQC battle. You want them far away from your opponent's infantry. You probably knew that already. I don't know why I'm giving out noob advice. 102 managing to score some nice little kills there in the town, but yeah, as I said, now just Red 4 surrendering, and that marks our GG. And it really was a GG. Quite an all over the place battle, units infiltrating, sniping out shit all over the place, massive gaps being left everywhere. back and forth in every zone imaginable. That was a nice game. So thank you very much, Saint, for submitting your replay. And if you guys would like to submit your own games, I'll leave my email address thingy in the description. You can just yeah, leave it there. I'll take a look, and if it's worthy of casting, I'll do it. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.